Hey there. Welcome to Three Homies. You're at threehomies.com. My name is Terry McGovern.
I'm Rick Banghart.
I'm Katya Miles.
And this is our first time on the air in the new year, 2021. So happy New Year. How you guys doing? Do you have good New Year's?
Mine was pretty good, fun. Anything would be fun compared to the last year.
Yeah. The New Year was a day like any other day of the past nearly a year.
Yeah, well, true. COVID. And that's one of the things that brought us together. Well, it's actually the main thing that brought us together. Otherwise, we would be in the same room. But doing this and turning it into a podcast was because of COVID. And over the holidays, I didn't get to see my family. Rick, you stayed here. You didn't go back to Michigan.
That's right.
And Katya?
I canceled all my trips to Russia. Usually I go several times. No.
So we didn't see our familia. And it occurred to us, hey, why don't we just do a podcast where we talk to one of our loved ones and get caught up with them and see how they're doing and how are they dealing with COVID. It's the one common thread that unfortunately brings us all together. Miss Katya, who are we going to talk to of your family?
My brother, Konstantin Mineev, who lives in Moscow, Russia. He practices corporate law in Moscow, and we haven't seen each other for more than a year. And I think that's what we want to talk about today, see if there's any difference between the U.S. situation with COVID and in Russia. What do you think, how it affected families? Did COVID really separated families, or maybe the opposite, maybe united them more?
That's a very good question. And Katya, I think it differs as always. How did the pandemic and the quarantine and all the restrictions affect your lifestyle in terms of relations and meeting, not meeting, but communicating with your closest ones? You can go out, right, for some period. You actually start to quarrel and just feel tension.
Get on each other's nerves.
Yes, exactly. There is a family that has good connection, and they're on the same page, and mentally they're close. The problems, the obstacles that the family altogether as a union meets in real life, like quarantine and pandemic, it actually unites people even more. So I think that's the question is the answer is twofold, Katya. And for some families.
And basically, it sounds like no different than it is here, or probably no different than it is anywhere. We call it cabin fever, right? To be cooped up in your house. And the more people are cooped up with you, the higher the fever.
Sounds like it's like a magnifying glass, Mm-hmm. We all just really facing upfront everything that we had. Was it good or bad? It just got magnified so much more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Rick, do you have a question for?
Well, what I wanted to comment on was that the first time I met you, Konstantin, I thought you were my son. And
what?
You met before?
Well, I met you as a commenter on one of our podcasts. And your name was MSU lawyer, and my son is an MSU lawyer, and I thought that that was my son commenting, and it turns out it was you. So I just thank you for being my son for about a couple of hours.
So the MSU in this case was Moscow State, not Michigan State.
Yes, my son is a lawyer for Michigan State University. So. Anyway, I thought I got a chuckle out of that. My son got a chuckle out of that, and I hope you're not offended.
My question, if I may, goes to the thing that we're constantly being barraged with here in this country by the media. Almost every time, at least in the liberal mainstream press, which is my flavor. They open up with, "We are the worst on the planet. We have the worst numbers on the planet." Where is Russia in terms of, where are you on the curve with cases and deaths?
So there is a strong feeling that the real numbers are much higher than what the official data shows. Lots of things suggest that the numbers should be low. But then I just remember, I recall what my teachers in high school on my English classes were telling me about. New York is a melting pot. Russia is much more like restricted in terms of its boundaries and letting people in. It has lots of visa requirements and also so on. And generally, not so many people from Europe or US come to Russia. So that may be the reason why the numbers are lower than as compared to US. And apart from the population numbers as well, Russia is like 1/3 of population of US. Of course.
Yet Moscow's got what? If I'm about 12 million or so in Moscow.
Moscow is a very big city. I think the officially it's roughly 12 million. You're right, but in reality, I think it's close to 15 or even more. And
Okay.
it's not. It's you don't even take into account the surroundings of Moscow, the Moscow region, because there is a daily migration from Moscow region to Moscow, and then in the evening from Moscow to Moscow region.
Well, we know that the virus doesn't care about cross-culturing. It doesn't have any awareness of that. And so I guess what I'm most interested in is how do you feel? Do you take it seriously? I guess that's the only way to phrase it. Do you and your friends take this thing as a life-threatening possibility?
My friends, almost all of them, and my colleagues are much more relaxed. I and my family, we wear masks even if we go on the street outside.
Yeah.
If we are in the park, for example, and we see no people, then we put them off.
Sure.
But when
Open
we
air.
walk on the streets, we wear masks always in the elevator and in the stairs and in the house, outside of the house area. So we personally do take it seriously.
Our mom, she's been taking it very seriously. She quarantined in her apartment for like almost 6 months when it started. So I think it depends a lot on
3 months, no, not 6.
3 months. Oh, Terry. Having
Pardon me.
Terry. We're having
But
it's not a lunchtime. Come on.
No, this is a plug. This is a way to plug. Katya and Konstantin have their own podcast. Konstantin suddenly produces an apple, this kind of apple, if I'm not mistaken.
Konstantin and I, we came up with this podcast where we're going to talk about Russia and America from a point of view of people living their lives. I know both countries relatively well now, and I'm just going to say I'm a dreamer, but I'm hopefully not the only one. I see as a vision that these are two really great countries with wonderful people, and we have so much in common. And when Russians and Americans get together, it's always a great experience. Our new podcast, this third episode, permanent name from now on, going to be KM Bond. KM because it's initials for me, Katya Miles, and for Konstantin Mineev on both sides. But it's also California Moskva. In Russian, California is spelled with K. So that's kind of and
I'd say California, Moscow.
Yeah, California, Moscow, and it's hopefully a bond. We playing a little bit on a famous, not to.
That's a great idea.
Run into copyright issues again, but it's a bond as a noun. We're building a bond between California and Moscow.
And we've had the address supered on the screen, so people can go check it out. Sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. And it's no surprise that a handsome, cultured, and extremely intelligent person would be Katya's brother.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, sometime later we meet in person, and
Absolutely.
when it will be possible and healthy, safe.
Here's to it.
We'll keep a light on in the window.
That is not vodka, I promise.
That's okay.
Nostrovia.
Here on Russian podcast. Well, say hi to Mom, my precious nephew Mark, Katya, and everyone else. Love and can't wait to be more in touch.
Be in touch. That is exactly what we do here on Three Homies. We get in touch and we stay in touch.
Especially with people we are close to, even though we cannot be with them.
You know, Katya, it must have been really nice visiting with your brother.
It was great. Though we do see each other somewhat regularly on our podcast, KM Bond.
And Terry, our next guest is going to be your son, Brendan.
That's right. My Brendan, a police officer, and he's going to be talking about the really kind of arduous task of what it's like policing during a pandemic.
Now, what about this show? We still have more to do, right?
Well, tradition says that what we do next is tap into people who write and perform parodies that make us smile.
Yeah, I love that tradition. Tradition. First of all, though, before we get to our parodist, I want to play something for you here. Do you like Dolly Parton?
Yes.
What a question. Well, in case you didn't know this, Dolly donated $1 million, a million smackaroos, to Vanderbilt University in Tennessee, her home state, to help advance Vanderbilt's COVID research efforts.
So here's Dolly's getting her vaccination and referencing her biggest hit, Jolene.
It's me. I'm finally going to get my vaccine. I'm so excited. I've been waiting a while. I'm old enough to get it, and I'm smart enough to get it. So I'm very happy that I'm going to get my Moderna shot today. And I wanted to tell everybody, I think you should get out there and do it too. I even changed one of my songs to fit the occasion. It goes, vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Because once you're dead, then that's a bit too late. I know I'm trying to be funny now, but I'm dead serious about the vaccine. I think we all want to get back to normal, whatever that is, and that would be a great shot in the arm, wouldn't it, if we could get back to that. But anyhow, I just wanted to encourage everybody, because the sooner we get to feeling better, the sooner we are going to get back to being normal. So I just want to say to all of you cowards out there, don't be such a chicken squat. Get out there and get shot.
Wow, isn't she amazing?
To me, she's truly an American Idol.
Well, she's a treasure, that's for sure. And speaking of treasures, here's everybody's go-to guy when you need a good laugh.
Could you maybe at some point just like curse or say something completely Looney Tunes or offensive? The other guy used to do that, and it just made this whole thing a little funnier. I'm just trying to work with you here.
We're live in 3, 2.
Welcome back. I'm joined now by a man some people believe is the President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden. Robinette?
Yes.
Don't even have to write a joke about that. Joe, can I call you Joe?
No.
Girl, we have a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about.
As the coronavirus continues to wreak havoc, Americans are getting restless and frustrated, if you know what I mean.
One of the disappointments when we came into office is the circumstance relating to how the administration was handling COVID was even more dire than we thought. We thought they indicated there was a lot more vaccine available.
And it didn't turn out to be the case. Because we're doing so much testing.
Huh? Oh, excuse me, I think I must have fallen
You don't ask Biden tough questions.
Ha! Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm still having flashbacks. Sometimes he visits me in my dreams.
So we're pushing as hard as we can to get more vaccine manufactured.
You now say we'll have enough supply for every adult to be vaccinated by May. Does this mean I can go to Cancun for spring break with Ted Cruz and the gals?
Well, I didn't say that.
Mr. Biden, bring my vaccine. Keep me protected from COVID-19. Tell me the trick to how I might earn a fix of that magic Pfizer or Moderna. Biden, give me a poke. They call you sleepy, but you're pretty woke. I'm so tired of quarantine. Mr. Biden, bring my vaccine. Please bring me joy. Hey Joe Biden, where's my vaccine? I need a rollout that's good for a queen. Grab your syringe, but make sure you clean it and stick it in me like you really mean it. Biden, hey Mr. Biden, I'm not afraid. I'm really not afraid. Inoculate me so I can get laid. Give it to me now. I don't mean to sound absurd, but I want my freaking vaccine. Ladies and gentlemen, the Robinettes. Oh, won't you stay? I'm numb. I have. Oh, I see. Please. Mr. Biden. Yes. Bring my vaccine. I want to trick or treat when we hit Halloween. Give me that double dose and make me go ouchie, so I can plant a kiss on Dr. Fauci. Oh, Mr. Biden, kick up a notch, 'cause I've run out of Netflix movies to watch. Girl, I'm so tired of quarantine. Mr. Biden, bring us, please, 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 Mr. Biden, bring my vaccine. Just one tiny prick so we can freaking leave the house. Robinette?
Yes.
I don't know, how does he do? Now, is he working at home like we are?
My understanding, he's working by himself at home
What a talent.
in a small New York apartment.
It looks like a whole team.
It does. It looks like he's got a whole network of people working for him. Well, Randy, thank you very much. That's it for this episode of Three Homies. I'm Terry McGovern.
I am Katya Miles.
And I'm Rick Banghart, wishing you safe passage through these troubled times.
And please, 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 get vaccinated.
And we will see you next time on Three Homies.
Don't be such a chicken squat.